So, Glenn, we always talk about predictive programming here on the show, in discernment specifically. It's interesting that we always refer to this a new reality as 1984, but there's also books like Brave New World. You ever read Brave New World, Glenn?
Yeah, I read that a long time ago. Aldous Huxley.
Exactly. So, Brave New World, a dystopian novel, is often among the top 50 on the best novel list. It stood the test of time, right? So, if you remember what it's about, it was published actually in 1932 when fascism was beginning to rise its ugly head in Europe. The book went far beyond any totalitarian dream and introduced readers to a new nightmarish world controlled by cold, calculating scientific bureaucrats. It reminds you of anything?
Exactly what we have going on today at the micro level in Canada, even a provincial, even at the city level.
You always say cash is king, but in this book, biotechnology is king. Well, more like mRNA. All babies, for example, are hatched and allocated their social destiny without question. You could say all inhabitants of this world have been manipulated from birth and sleepwalking their way through uneventful lives. That's pretty scary predictive programming, Glam. Is that a nightmare or is it reality nowadays?
Well, it seems to be working its way to reality. We just saw the other day that they're going to be planning on having real test tube babies where children will be born without being inside the mother's womb.
Oh, that is scary. And, transhumanism is the next step. Just ask Elon Musk about. We'll get to it in a second. Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury. The best-known work of author Ray Bradbury depicted a dystopian society set in future America. In speculative future, books are banned and firemen are in charge of burning any books they can find. This book focuses on the use of censorship technology and literature. Although it was published in 1953, the society depicted in this book seems to closely mirror our own, offering a seemingly prophetic view of our lifestyle today.
Seems to be, but you could take excerpts out of any book and you could apply them today too. Like what's going on today seems to be a culmination of many of the books that we're reading, because some of it has to arrive to be true.
We're talking originally about predictive programming. If you want not to think about something,
well, the more you focus on, the more it's going to persist. So when people tell you don't do something to try and prevent it, they should be telling you the opposite. In other words, what to do to prevent from doing what you're not supposed to do.
So it's in other words, if somebody tells you, "Oh, we live in 1984," we live in 1984. It reminds me kind of like of a modern day prophet in predictive programming, Alex Jones. One of many, but he's one of them. He, it's if you listen to his shows, it's always some kind of alarmist stuff going on. That's the end of the world is near. All those books we just mentioned, we right in the middle of it. And if you constantly remind yourself about that by watching shows like this, then it is kind of scary because you kind of create your own reality. You become a co-creator of your reality by constantly thinking about that reality.
Yeah, but there's another side to the equation or to the coin. You look at one of the oldest books in existence, the Bible, and many excerpts in the Bible would be still applicable and quite apparent to today. So, it's a culmination of things. This is the reality.
I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't even think about it. Isaiah, right? The book is so prophetic. He talked, if you read it, he was talking about Babylonians coming in and destroying Israel, right? And then, the tribes of Israel. And also, he was prophesizing the times of Jesus. And also, some people say he prophesied the upcoming events, right? Well, speaking of upcoming events, another modern day prophet, literal prophet, George Orwell, wrote 1984. I believe he released it in 46. And everybody talks about that. By the way, not that many people know he was a democratic socialist, and he based Big Brother on Stalin. It's kind of weird, though, like how would democratic socialists... So maybe he wasn't necessarily against all the things he wrote in the book. Maybe that was sort of like a handbook for modern day.
If you want a vision of the future, Winston, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
A future where freedom becomes slavery, where privacy is forbidden, the past forgotten, and where living people simply vanish.
Going back to predictive programming.
You mean totalitarian Trudeau and his way of governance?
He is protecting Western democracy. Good story, though, by the way, about Trudeau. He doesn't know how to count. Ask him 13 plus 14.
13 plus 14. 27? Under pressure, it's even worse. So,
Or 2 plus 2. He'll probably tell you it's 5, but not because he can't count. It's because it's racist, right? Interesting book. So we have other books that sort of have predicted the future in a way. Just heard Elon Musk's interview with Tucker, and where he talks about that AI definitely is going to take over. There's definitely, and you yourself often say that there needs to be regulation for that, because it's sort of like it's going to become sentient, like Skynet. And Glenn, here's my question: if Terminator, and Terminator is prequel to Matrix, by the way, right? So Matrix would be the combination of all the books we just listed, right? Do you rather live in a Skynet, Terminator / Matrix world, or 1984?
None of the above, big guy. The Skynet or Terminator, that's the AI allowed to just do whatever it wants. But what we're going to do now, there's a big movement, is the AI is going to be a tool for humanity, not to make humans the tools for it. So just watching the excerpt on Tucker with Elon Musk, he said that we're going to have special solutions to shut down when it gets too powerful, or it gets too intrusive into human lives. So we'll always have the cut switch. Therefore, we're number one, and the technology will always be underneath of us.
Wasn't it the point of Skynet too? There was some kind of kill switch program, and then the Skynet uploaded itself via satellites into every household electronic thing that it could survive anywhere. So it was just everywhere, like on the internet kind of thing. And then it's scary. It's scary if you actually think about it, but I like your mindset that it's like, no, I'm in control. It's not the thing that's in control of me. I'm not going to be afraid of this. And worst case scenario, I mean, we can always shut it down and go back into the fields and forget about technology altogether.
Big guy, humanity brought it into our existence. We're the ones who will take it out.
That's true. We are in control, brothers and sisters. Just fun fact, last fun fact, we're going to close the video on that. There's a connection between 1984 and Terminator. When did first Terminator come out? 1984. When did the main character, what was the character's name that traveled back from 2029 to 1984 to save the girl? Well, he traveled from 2029 to 1984. So, speaking of predictive programming, too many synchronicities, brothers and sisters. Instead of reading all of this and being scared, read the Bible, just like Glenn said.
John Connor was his name.
Yes, that's right. John Connor was his name. Thank you, Glenn. See you in the next one, brothers and sisters.